Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, Madam President.
Good evening, and thank you very much, and welcome to President's News for Wednesday, the 26th of February. I have been absent from the clubhouse for the last couple of weeks, so I'd like to thank David for standing in for me. He's been my President replacement service for the last few weeks, so thank you to David for stepping in. But it's lovely to be back with you all tonight. We've got a really good bit of club news for you this week. We've got some 2 national champions awarded at the weekend, so that's lovely news. We've got our results roundup, 3 big events from the weekend. We've got Parkrun, we've got what's coming up, and it's bonus ball and 300 club tonight, so a big night tonight. Do you want to go through? Just a small drinking problem. That's okay. Okay, club news. So as I said, we've got 2 national champions crowned this at the weekend, and the first goes to Daniel Goriola. He became the British national indoor champion over 60-metre hurdles up at Birmingham at the weekend, improving on his bronze medal from last year. And this adds to his national outdoors 110-metre hurdles title that he won in the summer. So Daniel ran 7:76, the season's best, so huge congratulations to Daniel. And our second national title goes to our junior women at the National Cross Country Champs over at Parliament Hill on Saturday. The scoring team of Eliza Nicholson, Hannah Clark and Caris Firth were first in the junior women's event, so huge congratulations to our junior women and to Daniel. So, okay, 3 big sets of results to round up with you this week. We have the National Indoor Champs at Birmingham, we've got the British Masters Indoor Champs that were at Lee Valley, and we have the National Cross Country Champs at Parliament Hill. So I'm going to start with the British Indoors. We had 10 of our athletes taking part. Just to say, we had many more athletes actually invited to the British Champs, but for whatever reason they weren't either able or wasn't part of their schedule, but great to have them invited in the first place. And so Mark Hurster was part of the starting team, so congratulations to Mark taking on these big roles in the big events. Now then, 60-metre sprint. We had 3 athletes in the 60 sprint. Saskia King ran a season's best of 7:54 in her heat and qualified for the semi-final where she ran 7:61. We had Michael Zamoa ran a 6:89 in his heat. And then Kieran Gowrie-Wade, who was 8th last year, he ran 6:78 in his heat to qualify for the semi-finals, where he also ran another 6:78, but unfortunately missed the final this year, so was finished 11th overall. In 60-metre hurdles, we had Annie Davis, fresh after competing at the Keighley Classic the weekend before. She finished 3rd in her heat with an 8:44, but unfortunately she was the 9th fastest to finish, so just missed out on a place in the final. And of course we had Daniel Goriola, who's just 19 years old, recently won the Bucks indoors 60-metre hurdles event. He won his heat in 7:93, qualifying for the final, which he won in the season's best of 7:76. Now, if any of you saw his event, there's some confusion as to what his celebratory gesture was. I think the commentators were thinking it was, is he cooking, is he stirring things up, or dishing things out? Not sure. So we can reach out to Daniel and ask him to clarify that, because the commentators were getting quite confused as to what this gesture meant. Anyway, completing the track roundup, we had Henry Fisher in the men's 800. Now Henry finished second in his heat with a 1:47.15. And then in the final, he finished in 4th, which was agonisingly close. He had a 1:48.11, same time as 3rd, and the 2nd place ran at 1:48.02, so it's like a blanket finish. Very unlucky not to get a medal, but a really strong run from Henry, and well done, because he's had quite a lot of injuries over the last wee while, so I'm hoping he's quite pleased with that performance, although he did just miss out on a medal. So moving to the field, we had Daisy Snell in our first British Champs, finished in 6th place in the women's long jump, where she jumped 5:94. Still just an under 20. Enjoyed being in the environment of having Olympians walking around, so that was a good experience for Daisy. Also in 6th place, we had Toby Dronefield in the men's triple jump, who jumped 14:76. We had Dylan Claydon, not long back from the Throws Festival in Sweden. He finished 4th in shot put in 15:96. And also in shot put, we had a silver medal from Nana Gedu, who threw 16:36. So, staying with indoors, but moving up the age groups to the Masters Indoors Champs at Lee Valley, we had just 5 Masters competing. We'll start with the youngsters. So, in the Vet 35 category, we had James Burton. He finished in 6th in his 60-metre event in 7:93. Sam Williams at W40 was 4th in the 200 metres in a 28:29. Really good to see Sam back racing because she spent most of 2024 coping with injuries, so that was good to see her back. We had Ashley Reid, an M40, ran a 7:82 in his 60-metre heat and then a 7:87 to take 5th in the final. We had Ian Furla, our M50, fresh from setting the club's M50 metre hurdle record fairly recently. It was double 5ths for Ian in the 200 with a 27:57 and then 400 in a 59:96. But then finally, in the W70 category, Helen Godsall took gold in both the 60 metres and 200 metres. She ran 9:40 in the 60 and then 31:83 in the 200. Now, I've never run a 60 metres, so the times don't really mean a lot to me, but I have run over 200, and 31:83 is a fantastic time, and she's 70, which is remarkable. So huge well done to Helen, huge well done to all our masters actually, because to be honest, just getting to the start line without injury is such an achievement these days, isn't it? So well done to all the masters and our seniors. And then the big event of the weekend was of course the National Cross Country Champs at Parliament Hill. It's not just an iconic course for cross country, but it's iconic for national cross country. Just as an example, last year at the scheduled National Champs, we had just under 300 senior women take part or enter. This year at the Nationals at Parliament Hill, it was over 1,200. So it's a real target for many people to go to. And we see this across all the age groups. It's a really special day, and it was exceptionally muddy this year. Really tough conditions. They had a special little feature in the senior men's and senior women's event. They had the King of the Hill, or Queen of the Hill. So whoever got to the hill first, the first hill first, and provided they finished, they earned themselves a £50 sportshoes.com voucher and a polka dot t-shirt. So a few little features there. Anyway, we had 70 runners turning out from the club, and starting, I'll give you the quick highlights. We had 3 quick highlights. Second individual in the under 20 women's race was Eliza Nicholson. We had a ninth place finish from Emery Aldridge in the under 13 boys. Emery's a year young in the under 13, so that's a remarkable finishing position. And we had, as I've mentioned already, gold for our under 20 women's team. So those are our highlights. But then looking in a little more detail, starting with the under 13 girls, we had 8 girls running in a field of 275. The team finished 12th, and the scoring team of Jasmine Stevens 86th, Eva John 90th, Isabella Jenkins 98th, and Olivia King 138th. And they were supported by Holly Afford-Smith, Alice Bunn, Freya Dembo, and Imogen Jenner-Hurd. The under 13 boys, we had 7 boys running in a field of 318. The team finished in 8th and were led home by Emery Aldridge, who I mentioned finished a fabulous 9th. He was again battling with his big rival Guy Bowers, who we've spotted has now switched to Tunbridge, so that's going to make for some interesting track rivalries this year. And he was backed up. The scoring team had 67th for Dexter Mean, Zachary Evans 73rd, and Billy Ferroa 137th. And they were backed up by Luke Eperon, Josh Bentley, and Lewis Crick. In the under 15 girls, we had 7 girls running in a field of 306. The team were 15th, and they were led home by first year under 15 Sophia Mossy in 70th, Alba Homans Yao 112th, Charlotte Stevens 138th, and Hannah Carter in 175th. And they were supported by Chloe Merez, Ariana Jenner-Hurd, and Amelie Ramdeen. In the under 15 boys, again, we had a big turnout. We had 12 running in a field of 343. The team finished in 13th spot, and they were led home by another year young James Bunn in 76th. James Shaw was 109th, Johnny Lee 134th, and Zacchaeus Kelman in 161st. And they were supported by Alex Smith, Ricardo Cervera, Mateus Caceres, Finn Gotkin, Benji Evans, Madalisto Valema, Matthew Tootle, and Aaron Sebubufu. Okay, under 17 women, we had 6 ladies running in a field of 199, where the team finished in 10th spot, and they were led home by Neema Mossi in 89th, Christina Galodi-Johnson in 91st, Kyla Dervish just a little back in 102nd, and then Jasmine Mahoney in 115th. And we had Caitlin Howe and Eva Dembo in support there. The under-17 men, again we had 6 running in a field of 319. The team finished 5th, which was really good. And they were led home by Joseph Hill in 36th, Joe Skeins 41st, Jed Starvis 45th, and Oliver Ward in 97th. And they were backed up by Nathan Clark and Ben O'Grady. And then to our junior men, we had just 2 junior men running, so no team score. There was 191 in the field, and our usual dueling duo of Harry Fage and Mark Constable were out again. It was clear Mark favours the mud because he came home in 65th, and this time Harry was a little further back in 113th. And then we had our junior women. So as I've mentioned already, first team with just 37 points. The second team, the silver team, scored 86 points. So even with if we had had 4 to score, we still would have finished ahead of the second team with just 3 to score. So it was a really strong performance from all of our junior women. Silver medal for Eliza Nicholson in second. Then we had Hannah Clark in 16th and Caris Firth in 19th. Caris ran her usual stealth mission through the field after starting quite close to the back. And as we also had Libby White in 44th, Megan Slattery and Isla Pearson backing up the team. And just to note, Hannah Clark has run, that is her 8th National Junior Championships. From under 13s all the way through to under 20s. She's medalled in 7 of those championships. She's had 3 golds, 1 silver and 3 bronzes, and her highest finish has been 9th overall. So I'm personally delighted that Hannah will join us in the senior women's team next year. But that's a real palmares for Hannah over these years to have done so well. So well done to Hannah and all our teams. Now, speaking of the senior women, we only had 4 running, which was a real shame. Because we had on paper, we had about 10 ladies due to run, and we had all our superstars were due to come out. But through a variety of injuries and illnesses, we were down to 4, and it's 4 to score. But the team finished 18th, so still very good. And we had coming home first, it was our ever-present Chloe Sharp. She was first home in 45th. Alva Barnes had a great run, finishing just behind Chloe in 48th. Then we had Jenny Butler, who's a W50 in 233rd. And who was also just ahead of the lady who won the Queen of the Hill prize. And then we had Trang Nguyen, who interestingly did a Douglas Varney on us and chose to run Parkrun that morning ahead of the cross country. And I'm just wondering at what point did Trang regret that decision, because I'm suspecting as soon as she arrived and saw the mud, to be honest. But that's a tough day. Anyway, it's a tough day for the ladies, but very well done all the same. And finally to the senior men. So they had 12.7 kilometres in the mud, completely churned up by the end of the day. The field, there was 1,781 runners taking part in the senior men's race. We had 12, which was great. The team came home 37th out of 112 in the 6 to score, and then we came 29th out of 59 teams in the 9 to score. We lost 2 shoes, so Jake Lang and Kevin Finney both managed to lose a shoe, falling foul of the squelching mud, and both opted for different tactics. So Kevin spent about 5 minutes trying to replace his shoe, and Jake just threw it to his family and carried on. So a mixed bag of options there. I think it's a lose-lose situation in that position, unfortunately, but they did well to finish. I think Jake's feet were probably suffering because there's quite a lot of rocky paths on the Parliament Hill course, so that would not have been pleasant, and certainly trying to run in your socks was not going to be easy. So a tough one there, and it was tough to lose because they both had been quite well positioned and are usually a couple of our stronger runners. So really unfortunate that happened, but not to worry. We had first one for the club was Micah Evans in 253rd, then Dan Kennedy 362nd, then we had Jake Lang, Kevin Finney, Will Reedman-White, Douglas Varney, Steve Howe, Greg Firth, Martin Parkinson, James Webber, Philip Bunn and Barry Horgan. So a few out for the first time over national, so that was a good experience for them, and hoping the mud hasn't put them off too badly. So we must just say a massive big thank you to our tent crew, to Paul Ostrich, Steve Starvis and Steve Roll, who was helping out in the day, and Steve has taken some great pictures from the event, so they're on the club website, so check into those. Also the club reports, the race reports rather, are also on the website along with the photos, so if you've got time, have a wee look at those. Special thank you also to the Desboroughs who were there shouting, and to all the club members that were out on the day. Great to have the support at these events. Now then, we've got a couple of little random events. It was a third VET 50 in the London Winter 10K for Nick Kibblewhite, and at the Seville Marathon, Paul Sharp was 356 and ran a 3:01:48, so a very nice time for Paul out there. Okay, moving to Parkrun. So we had 48 runners out, so a little bit down on our usual, but not too bad. With 3 big events on, you're going to expect that a little bit. But in 23 different locations, which is about our usual. We had just 11 running at Bromley, but we had a big turnout at South Norwood. 8 club members there. So the Kingsmells and Tony Pontifex were back from their exotic travels. The Griffins were there, Dave Appleton, Bob, John Isaacs were there, so it was clearly the place to be. Now though, the furthest from the clubhouse went to the Pearsons this week, as we were all running up at the Edinburgh Parkrun up at Cramond. So that's about, I can't remember. I forgot to check how far away it was. Far enough away. Anyway, the Bromley Club Champs, so we had Graham Luger was first home in 17:16, 75%. Second home was Roger Bezic, 17:56, but with 91.8%, Roger. I think that probably takes the win. And Harry Schmidt, they said it was 18:40, but I think that's...
It's 18:57.
18:57, okay. But officially it's 18:40, Harry, so I would just take it. It's a PB. And in the ladies, first home was Olivia Berry and second was Florence Watson. Now, no podiums this week, no Parkrun podiums. I think that's the second time only I've had that, so a disappointing week on that front. Not to worry though. Coming up, so just to say, this Thursday, so tomorrow, is the deadline if you wish to enter the Kent Indoor Champs, which are the 15th and 16th of March. So deadline is tomorrow. Go to the Kent County website, you can do it all there. This weekend we have the rescheduled English Schools Cup Cross Country Finals in Leeds. So there's just a few of our runners taking part in that, so it's a relatively quiet weekend. The following weekend on Saturday, it's the National Inter-County Champs at Willerton, up near Nottingham, which also incorporates the next round of the UK Cross Challenge. And on the 9th of March, on Sunday, here in the clubhouse, we have a first aid course open to any of our volunteers, any chaperones, any marshals. It's not an accredited course, but it would be really useful if you are out on the course and something happens, you know, it just gives you a bit of an idea of what to do in those sorts of events. So if you want to get in touch with anyone at the office or with Dave Appleton, the course is £35. Well, the course costs £35, but we are offering it free, but we would appreciate donations. So there we go. So that's next weekend. On the 15th of March, it's the English Schools Champs at Ardingly. We've also got the Years 3 and 4 Primary Schools Cross Country Champs at Crystal Palace, which Richard will be very busy with. It's the Kent Indoor Champs at Lee Valley, and the next round of the Bennett Cup, the mob match with SLH and Orion. That's at Coulson, 7.5 miles for that. So that's the next couple of weeks coming up. Tonight we have bonus ball and the 300 club. So I'll do the bonus ball because we have a winner in the house. And this is from the 22nd of February, so just last Saturday. Winning ball number 5, is it? Dick Griffin.
Oh. 2 weeks running, yeah.
And we'll just switch to the 300 club.
A bad loser.
Say what you really think.
There are 3 prizes this week, and for 150, 100 and a 50. And there are a number of gaps, so your chances of winning are considerably improved. I'd like to fill those gaps, Madam President.
Okay. 167.
167,
Seven. Wow. Mr. Pontifex.
Ellie, oh, brilliant. Right, she will be pleased.
And another one.
Okay, right.
Safe, yeah. Put it back in. Okay, 174.
Bob Porty.
Oh, 140. Yeah. Okay, right. And then the last one for 50.
Ooh, 77.
Sunset Strip, yeah.
Not seen him tonight. Graham Coates.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Oh, he's a poor old,
Good.
he's a poor old farmer,
Does
isn't he?
anyone have anything else to share before we close tonight? Nope. Okay. Just do the official.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night. Thank you very much.